Hello, welcome everybody to another modern stream. Today we're going to be trying out a deck that was sent to me through Twitter. I can't remember who it was, so I apologize for that. But this is the original list that I was sent. The idea is we have, Knight of the Reliquary, Retreat to Koraham. So we're sort of a mid-range deck with a combo finish that can, end the game out of nowhere. We are also playing Stoneforge Mystic. We can get Batterskull and Kaldra complete off of the Stoneforge. Technically, we can also get Shadow Spear, but we're probably not going to be doing that one too much because we can also get the Shadow Spear off of Ursa Saga. We are playing 4 copies of Ursa Saga, and this is what allows us to grind. We're also playing my boy Elvish Reclaimer over here. We can use a Reclaimer alongside Flagstones of Trocaire in order to ramp and have access to more of a land advantage in that sense. Also, we can use Yavimaya in order to sacrifice Flagstones to the Knight of the Reliquary as well, which is pretty cool. And we also have access to Giver of Runes in order to protect our creatures. It's also playing copies of Abundant Harvest. This is a card that I'm not particularly high on, but this seems like a reasonable shell for a card like this, so I'm willing to give this a shot. I liked the idea. I think that this list has a couple of problems that I don't really like, so I made some changes and I arrived at this deck list, which is what I'm going to be trying today. So first of all, I cut copies of Path to Exile. I think this card is just pretty bad. I'm not a big fan of the card, so instead of Path to Exile, I'm playing a couple of copies of Teferi Time Raveler, which on the contrary, it's a fantastic card right now. Teferi is very, very good against all of the Cascade strategies, against the control decks and stuff like that, so having access to Teferi is pretty good. I also cut the third copy of Retreat to Koraham. This is a card that, we are a mid-range deck after all, and having access to cards that are sort of just dead top decks is not where you want to be in this kind of deck. Like, this is only a combo piece that works if you have the other combo piece working, so it's... I don't know, like, this card does something by itself, right? Like, Knight of the Reliquary can win the game by itself. It doesn't need the retreat to go along with it. Like, it can, like, for sure. And it's probably going to be great whenever you can pull off the combo, but, like, you don't need to pull off the combo. And I'd rather have access to more mid-range card advantage, good cards, than having access to combo pieces that don't really do anything by themselves. So this is like the changes that I made in the main deck. I also cut the original list had access to Thespian Stage, and this is very cute. Like, you can whenever you have the Thespian Stage, whenever the Thespian Stage is about to go, you copy the Saga and then you copy another land, and that means that the Thespian Stage is going to be, like, for example, like with the third trigger on the stack, So this is how it works. You have your Thespian Stage, you copy your Saga. Thespian Stage becomes a copy of Saga, so it gets the counters. After you have the counters, with the second counter, the card gains the ability to create a construct. And because of layers, so don't ask me about it, I'm just using the word layers in order to not have to answer the question. What happens is you copy any other land, and it's going to still have the ability that it creates constructs. So you can have, copy a basic planes, and then that basic planes, which is a Thespian Stage, is going to be able to create constructs indefinitely every single turn. I think that is very much a win more sort of situation, and, like, this is just a bad land by itself. Like, we're not really copying anything else of value, so it seems very just unnecessary, and I'd rather just have access to another basic instead. The other change is, like, the original list had Scatter Groves, but this is just a worse Temple Garden. Like, I'd much rather just have access to Temple Garden here. The other card that I was actually considering would be an Indata Triumph, which that actually has a purpose, which is that you can use the black as another color source for prismatic ending. I think that having access to Temple Garden is going to be better. Like, again, like, when I build decks like this, I don't like to count Ursa Saga as lands. because they are colorless sources that don't really cast a lot of my spells. So because of that, I'm counting this as a 21 land deck with 4 Ursa Sagas. So because of that, I'd rather my lands enter all of them untapped. So I think that's a little bit more important. So after covering that, that's pretty much what the game change is. But yeah, this is what the main deck is. The sideboard includes some Flusterstorm and some Dispute as counter magic, Biting Needle as a saga target, of course, that we can go find with the last chapter. Endurances and Force of Vigors because these cards are fantastic. And I'm playing a couple of copies of Engineered Explosives and Chalices of the Void. The original list had access to Void Mirror. This is a card that I'm not a fan of at all in decks that cannot end the game quickly. And again, this is a mid-range deck. Like, Void Mirror only works whenever you're trying to end the game by turn 5, right? This is against all of the, pitch elemental decks. Sure, like, this card is still gonna be fine against Cascade. So if you're worried about Cascade, and this is good, and this is why I'm playing Chalices myself in the sideboard. But yeah, Gadok is also this is just not a playable card, so I have no interest in playing with Gadok. So that one was an easy cut. And I'm playing Chalices of the Void for the Cascade matchups and potentially against, I don't know, other decks. Again, like, I haven't played a single match with the deck, so I don't know what I'm trying to hedge against. So we'll see how things go. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you for round number 1. Okay, here we go. Turn 1 Reclaimer. Let's go. Double Knight of the Reliquary is not the worst. Opponent moves to 5. That's scary. I was also wondering whether we should have something like Ghost Squatter or Bojuki Bog in this sideboard. Maybe we should. Particularly Bojuki Bog. Like, Ghost Squatter seems pretty hard to leverage, but Fortified Village. Okay. Color me impressed. I guess not, impressed is not the right word. Intrigued is the right word. Color me intrigued. Turn 1 Fortified Village. Abundant Harvest. This has to be Enchantress, right? We're gonna go with Stoneforge on 2. And I think that we're gonna go for Kaldra. I got this stage for a GQ or Bojuki. I wanted to try placement stage Saga since we don't have Arena 6 to buy back Sagas from the graveyard. You're probably right that it's a little cute to do. It's just too much. Like, it's just asking for too many things to go right. And I think that building decks with the plan of, well, if everything goes right, this card is great, is not where you wanna be. It could technically be a Ghost Quarter. Maybe it's worth playing the first Ghost Quarter. I could see that. Okay. Note that they don't have, what's his name? This is awkward. They don't have Snowlands, so they can't have Monthly Ice. I could play Kaldra here. I could play Knight of Reliquary. I think I want to play Knight. Because Knight gives me an out to kill if I find the other thing. It also fixes my mana. But if I find Knight of Coralhelm, whatever, we can just win the game on the spot. Well, maybe actually we can't win the game if my opponent gains some life if they play a bunch of enchantments here. Some Petal Grove. That's a hard way to do it. Legendary enchantment creature. There we go. I guess that sometimes you just gotta cantrip, right? Sometimes you just gotta cantrip. Journey to Nowhere. This mana is destroying me here. If I had another white source, I could go like Giver into stuff, but I can also play Teferi minus on the Sithis. I feel like I just have to play another Knight and just hope that this one sticks. We're not in great shape here. We're not in great shape. This matchup seems problematic. My opponent pulls further and further ahead every turn. Ugh. Please don't have another Journey to Nowhere. Okay, we untap with Knight. That's good. Okay, so float green, sack. I'm gonna go get Flagstones, I think, so I can start doing the thing. But I'm going to, I think I am going to Prismatic Ending the Sithis. And this allows me to get Kaldra into play. Now we can start beating down now. That Prismatic Ending was a fantastic draw. Now that we have double white, we can start double spelling, which is going to make things a lot better for us. Enchantress's Presence. Okay. So we have five, 10. Is this just lethal? This is just lethal. Yeah, Fetchland was a good draw. Fetchland was a fine draw. 5, 10, 14. I'm not miscounting here. Oops. Attack with ult. Awesome. Okay, forces. Yes, please. Engineered explosives. Yes, please. I think that's it. Maybe Givers are fine. Givers does seem like the worst card in my deck, though. I don't think I want disputes and stuff. I guess I'm keeping this. It's not great. Turn 1 breeding pool. And harvest for non-land. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this card. I just every time I play with this card, I just end up disappointed. Every single time. Prismatic Ending. Reclaimer. I don't think this card is that great. Sterling Grow is a problem. Let me rephrase that. I don't care at all about Sterling Grove. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna bounce the Sithis. So my point is to spend. Oh, I can't. Whoops. That's right. That's how this card works. Damn it. Shroud is an effect. That sucks. Would I play Explorer? Would I play Harvest or Growth Spiral? I would definitely not play Growth Spiral. Explore is interesting. I'm not sure that's the place I would go. Because I don't think that you're ramping towards anything, really. So Explore doesn't make that much sense. So I don't think Explore is the answer. Fertile Ground. Okay. So I'm just gonna expose this for 2 main phase. Basic Forest. EE for 2. I feel like I still need to know a little bit more. Hated Growth Spiral in testing because it made the mana base messier. No, I don't think you want Bubble. I mean, you could have Bubble, but I don't think that Bubble is necessarily better than Abundant Harvest. It's kind of a tricky spot. It's kind of a tricky spot, that one. Also, my opponent seems to be on straight up blue, green, white, so maybe they're not playing Blood Moon. Maybe they're not playing Blood Moon. But who knows? Why not go Adventurous Symbols? Wow. Wow, my Bluebird. I'm getting flashbacks now. I am actually getting flashbacks now. I thought that life was behind me, but apparently it isn't. So I think we plus here with Tef. And we activate Reclaimer on end step. They're cracking Sterling Grove. Oh, that's great for me. That is so good for me. Cast out. Alright. Sure. Do you want to get my Teferi? Alright. That's fine. So here we're gonna Flagstones. I guess we're gonna get Hallowed Fountain. I still have 8 copies of that card thanks to it being draft chuff. It's only fair to share the love. Yeah, I don't know if sharing the love is what I would call it, but sure. Okay, so what are we doing here? I think this is what we're doing. And I guess if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this right now so it grows the knight. Three, 1, 2, 3. Just gonna get another saga. Again, I'm under the assumption that my opponent's not playing red in their deck. It's just strictly better once upon a time because it's 1 minute cheaper. That's the right way to look at it. That's the right way to look at it for sure. With positivity, you know? With a lot of positivity. Do we have lethal next turn? 6. Destiny's Spinner. Can we make that thing chump block? Let's see. So we're gonna make a token here. Bunch of saga triggers. Aether Spellbomb. So this is now a 4/4. We can make it a 5/5. And this is 7, 8. Yeah, right? Eight plus 4 is 12. So this is, my opponent needs to chump block here. Because we can make a token at instant speed. 8, 11. No, I'm one short, right? So 8, 3. Make a token. That's 5. Yeah, I guess I can't make them chump block. But I can just bounce this, so it's fine. Oh, I can't. Never mind. Man, this Sterling Grove is just awkward. Yeah, man. Let's attack. Let's attack and see what's up. They just chump. Awesome. I guess they chumped that one, so this is fine. We don't need to make the construct because it doesn't change anything. Now the question is, do I want to make a construct or do I want to play Teferi? I think I want to play Teferi. And now we have the Giver to protect my Knight of the Reliquary. And we have Teferi to bounce the enchantment. So I think this locks it up. I think this locks it up. They don't have enough mana to do more stuff. What's next? I don't know what that means. What's next? I guess they could have second Sterling Grove into the Solitude thing, but then they can't draw cards, so like it's just the same. Oh, what's the next deck to play? I mean, I'm gonna play this one. I'm playing this one right now. Sphere of Safety. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can pay 5 mana. I think I am okay paying 5 mana to kill my opponent. Float. Yep, there we go. My opponent figured out. I was going to sack one of these sagas because like these two mana are going to waste. I only can pay on my combat phase, right? So I need 5 mana. So I was going to activate Reclaimer with this 2 mana. But that's fine. Cool. We got there. See you for the next round. All right. What do we got here? One lander on the play against the Lurrus deck. Probably not. This looks better. Keep, and I think we're gonna send the Stoneforge Mystic. Should I send the land? Maybe sending land is better. It's a little bit risque, but I guess it depends on what my opponent's up to. If they're on Hammer, then the redundant Stoneforge would kind of suck. But if they are on something like the Red Black Lurrus deck, then the redundant Stoneforge is going to be great. They are on that deck, so cool. How you doing, Scott? How's it going? Famous last word, sending land is better. It is risque. It is a risque move. But I do like to leave dangerously, though. Well, that's a horrendous draw. That's an absolutely horrendous draw, but okay. Man, it's... I don't know. Stoneforge Mystic can sometimes be such a beating. Godless Shrine, okay. Prismatic Ending. Interesting that they're choosing to do this as opposed to just like Prismatic Ending the Kaldra token. I kind of feel like I would be a lot more interested in like having my opponent spend their turn putting Kaldra in play, take 5, whatever, and then just ending the Kaldra token. Flagstones of Trocaire? Oh no. Smallpox? That's so gross. Alright, I got. I got. I was not expecting Smallpox when my opponent went turn 1 Blood Crypt, turn 2 Godless Shrine. Turn 3 Data Triumph. So we probably lose now? Just move on to the next game. Nothing to see here. Just absolutely nothing to see. So Path to Exile can go. Dispute, Force of Vigor. I think these are fine. I probably want to cut the retreats. but everything else is probably okay. Buying Needle is interesting because it's just a way for me to put more stuff into play, which is something that I actively want to do. Yeah, let's just go with that. Boom. Keep. Raven's Crime. I think I go for Batterskull here. It's not that crazy for me to just hardcast this thing if my Stoneforge dies. Smallpox. Into the Flagstones. That's that's an interesting strategy. And it's a very interesting strategy. Okay. Gotta respect it. Raven's Crime. Pitch Prismatic Ending? Well, I like that. So after they fetch, I'm going to Endurance now so my opponent can't Raven's Crime me. It's the classic thing where the clock, for whatever reason, it's like a bug on MTGO where, like, for whatever reason, just get control of the clock. Alright, what are we doing, opponent? What do you got for me? 3 mana for Prismatic Ending. Okay. Gonna plus here. Here's a Reclaimer. Here's a Knight of the Reliquary. Your go. Vindicate my knight. Plus Stoneforge. Get Kaldra. I feel slightly ahead this game. I feel slightly ahead. Vindicate Stoneforge instead of my Reclaimer? What are you doing, opponent? Why are you're not respecting the Reclaimer? You can't just not respect the Reclaimer, right? Well, my opponent's deck is hella spicy. My opponent's deck is hella spicy, so let's go with this. I don't think there's anything that I want. I don't think Fluster, just counter magic against like Smallpox style decks is just a terrible idea. I mean, I guess I'm keeping this, but this hand loses to turn 2 Smallpox. I wonder if I'm supposed to just go turn 1 either Spell Bomb. That's a brutal draw, because like this really, it almost just forces me into going turn 2 Reclaimer, which is pretty brutal here. If they do have the Smallpox, and they do, that sucks. He just plays right into it. But like the fact that I drew the land means that there's the chance that I can, if they don't have a Smallpox exactly on turn 2, then I can activate Reclaimer and get Flagstones. So it kind of, I'm kind of forced into going turn 1 Reclaimer, which is kind of rough. They have Ren? Well, that's gross. I'm kind of feeling like I want to hold on to the Shadow Spear just so I can discard it to Raven's Crime. I feel like I just have to do this because my opponent, otherwise they're just gonna Raven's Crime me out of all my cards. So I have to do this right now. It's not pretty, but they're gonna Vindicate my land. Wow. Got him. Wrench Mind. Discard Batterskull. Let's go. Please don't kill my Reclaimer. Please don't kill my Reclaimer. I would like to be able to attack your Ren because I probably cannot beat Infinite Vindicates. My opponent's deck is pretty cool. I kind of like what my opponent's got going on over there. It's very, very cool. So that's probably game. Yeah, that's definitely game. I mean, let's see if they ult. Maybe they won't ult. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's no reason for them not to ult because they can just Lurrus and get their Ren back. So, yeah. That was kind of awesome. I kind of want to play my opponent's deck now. Maybe that's something to try for the next the next stream. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's keep this hand. Yeah, I mean, my opponent was playing Flagstones. They kind of, they had me there, It's really hard for me to to be able to resist the Flagstones deck, Cavern of Souls. Naming Goblin. Okay. I think I want to do this right now. So I can turn this into a 3/3. And I'm gonna definitely spend this turn to... Even if my opponent gets to play 1-drop for free, I'm definitely spending this turn to grow, to activate Reclaimer and grow it. Snoop. Sack here. Get Flagstones. Yeah, this card's not great. I don't like it. We have to kill the Snoop. I don't think that we can really... that we can ignore it. Well, we were dead, so maybe I can find path off of this. Give her. Well, do you have it? That's pretty sick. They can tap for mana. That's brutal. That's very good. That's very, very, very good. Those were some above average top decks for my opponent. Well, must be nice, I guess. Must be nice. So they just make infinite tokens on end step, and then all of the tokens are actually alive during their turn. So they attack with all of their tokens and they kill me. Well, you could tap Giver to target their Snoop. Yeah, Giver's not good enough, you know. Fairy is pretty medium. I think I actually won Retreat in this matchup. Maybe Shave a Harvest. I could also just cut the Giver. This is fine. Maybe just cut another Teferi. Teferi is not very good. And Force can blow up Blood Moons and Aether Vials. Hate to say, but Knight may not be good enough in this meta. Who knows? So, but I have, like, you always have to root for Gobos. Yeah, I mean, Gobos have not really, you know, had the best time, so can't be too upset about that. So there's no blue cards in my deck besides the Retreat. So I'm gonna play around Blood Moon here. Perfect. The perfect draw. Okay, having found another Stoneforge means that I'm just gonna go for Kaldra here. If I hadn't found another Stoneforge, maybe I would go for Batterskull. But they probably have literally no ways of answering the Batterskull. Answering the Kaldra, I mean. That is neat. So basic planes. Activate this. Put Kaldra into play. 5, yeah. Bite Needle. Conspicuous Snoop. At least I'm not dead. Slingang Lieutenant. Love getting in there for 2. Love it, love it, love it. So serve? That's not a good block. Like, this gets exiled now. Oh no, it doesn't. Never mind, never mind. Yeah, this is a triggered ability. Never mind, that's a good block. Definitely a good block. There's an argument for playing the knight there instead. Or going abundant harvest for land. Those are definitely some options. That's a ringleader. Just a casual draw 3. Don't worry about it. Just your casual draw 3. Land's actually kind of good there, because now I can Batter Skull and I can also activate, and next turn I can suit up the Caldra with the Batter Skull. So fetch. Pass the turn. Try another Kiki Jiki. I have a bunch of cards, but they're just not going to have enough time to deploy them because Needle has the Snoop covered. Okay. We knew about that one. Oops. Activate this. Put Batter Skull. Activate that. Prismatic Ending is kind of nice. Swing, swing. Maybe I should have just switched around. EE for 0? Yeah, I blow up my own Batter Skull if I EE for 0. My opponent sacks their board, right? So, no. I do get to... I think it's better for me to Prismatic Ending the Snoop. And then I can activate Flagstones. Oh, I should have harvested. I'm gonna have 1 mana that's gonna go unused now. Yeah, I should have harvested. That was the play. I should have harvest for non-land, see what I draw. Then I snoop for... I kill the snoop, and then I swing. And then I have mana to activate Reclaimer. Another one of those. So now if I find a land, I can... I guess I don't actually just win. Stoneforge for Shadow Spear, play Shadow Spear, equip Shadow Spear onto the Batter Skull. Swing. Play Shadow Spear. Suit up the Batter Skull. I guess these are just free attacks. Because my opponent's gonna block. No, yeah, this. I think I'm supposed to attack with everything. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now what? Now what? Now what? How do we do this? So we can... Do they even have Blood Moon? We saw Thoughtseize. We did see Thoughtseize. We also saw... They have the combo, of course. They have the Harbingers. They have double Kiki Jiki. Is there anything that I can play around? I don't know how I feel about this Force of Vigor. Maybe this is fine. I'll just submit. I'm not sold on the Force, but... Okay, so... Keep this, because we have Splinter Twin. Friends don't let friends mulligan Splinter Twin. Friends don't let friends mulligan Splinter Twin. Choose wisely, opponent. This is perfect for me, right? My opponents spend their turn 2 instead of playing a Snoop that I can't answer. They just play the Thoughtseize that I don't care about. And now they don't know about the Prismatic Ending. Some extra value. Do we just go for Saga? I think I just go for Saga. Munitions Expert. So I guess I can't go for Saga, huh? Flagstones. So I'm just gonna go just get another Flagstones. And this time I'm gonna go for Saga. White, green, prismatic ending. Now this is gonna go with a Saga. We'll see if they want to draw Munitions Expert. I guess they do. War Marshal, that's fine. I mean, who even reads cards anymore, right? Who even reads cards anymore? Paid actor. Clearly opponent's a paid actor. Leader. So Bogart Harbinger and Ignoble Hark. I think now that I have a second Reclaimer, I'm gonna go get another Flagstones. Because here I can make a token. This pops off. Let's get either Spellbomb. Play land. Oh, I forgot to sack the Saga. I'm an idiot. The plan was to actually sack the Saga with the trigger on the stack so I could get a free land. Oh, fuck that up. If they want a double block, I'm happy with this trade. If they want a champ block, also happy with that trade. Now I'm the paid actor. You never know who the paid actor really is. I'm trying to keep you folks on my toe on your toes, you know? We're out of flagstones. Maybe I should be sacking the Avimaya there. So now my dudes are hella large. Large dudes, best dudes is what they say. I think that's what they say. Yep. Construct tokens. Let's go. 2-on-1. See you next round. Here we go for round number 4. We're playing against Orsub Control. Not necessarily the deck, but the player, apparently. I'm going to keep this hand. Let's see if my opponent is indeed on Orsub Control. They don't seem to be. I feel scammed. I feel scammed. This Abundant Harvest also kind of clunky. Well, damn it. Am I supposed to just say land here so I can hit my land? Because I'm going to say no on land. Maybe I should have said land there. Yeah, Cat Jesus alongside Giver of Runes kind of giving me the business here. Yeah, I should have said land there. I don't know why I said non land. I mean, I need to draw a prismatic ending, right? That's kind of the thing. I really have to draw prismatic ending for this guy. Girl. I think the value play was a scoop and response. Nah, this card is not good, right? Like it's great here, but well, maybe now we're a little bit closer to the Scooperino. Maybe now we're a little bit closer, you know? Okay. Land? It's maybe that's not a land. Unclear. Unclear as to that one is a land or not. Here's a 3/4. Your go. I mean, you think so, but like this Reclaimer is just larger than my entire opponent's deck, right? They need to have some path to exiles. Obviously they do, but I'm kick W in, by the way. I mean, you have to throw the kick W in there. I can't like figure it out otherwise. My bluebird, you gotta throw me a bone there. So these are good. These are good. These are good. These are bad. These are bad. Maybe the fairy's a little bit clunky. We just gotta have a Stoneforge Mystic. Just have to be on the play. I feel like if we had been on the play that previous game, we'd probably win, right? Maybe if we have the skill, you know, if we're skilled enough to be on the play, maybe we can win this match. I have high hopes for this next game where we choose whether we're on the play or not, you know. We'll see. All right, one lander, probably not. I can fuck with this though. This is kind of the 1-2 punch here, huh? This is kind of the 1-2 punch. Breeding Pool, yes. Stoneforge. Caldra. Giver to protect the Stoneforge. Yeah, I'm slightly more well set up this time around, I think. I think I'm a little bit more well set up this time around. Am I just playing Knight here, though? If I play Knight... Yeah, I'm just playing Knight here instead of Caldra. Because next turn I can Caldra plus hold up Arbiter activation. I mean, I can't bounce this, right? There's a Giver of Runes in front of me, so... Probably not gonna work out. But Knight just represents so much buff. Second Arbiter, alright. Never mind. They're gonna path my Giver. Ugh. Vomit. Fairy minus here. Is that better? Fairy minus, draw a card. Is that better than just activating and putting Caldra into play? Probably not, because it makes my opponent use the Path to Exile on the Stoneforge as opposed to the Caldra. So I think we just chill here. And then next turn we just have Giver. They have a lot of things that they gotta path here. They have a lot of things that they gotta path. They can path my token if they want to, but... Whoo! Yes! Yeah, baby. Really went out and built a night deck. It was somebody suggested it. Somebody tagged me on Twitter. I just copied and pasted. Even Mind Sensor. Do I plus? No, the card matters more than the... It also time walks the giver. Yeah, I can't play that one. Can't play that one, unfortunately. But now the Mind Sensor kills the fairy. No. The arbiters remain relevant, yeah. Like, I can't search. Unless I pay. And then if I pay, I can only search the top 4. Replay giver. We know about that one. Gavony Dawnguard. Tenya. I could move the spear around, but I think it's more important to deny my opponent from drawing a card. Next turn they have to start chump blocking. How do you get a cyber guide for Amulet? It's a good question. That's a great question. Oh, that's not the way to do it. That's a really old cyber guide. Is this the way to go? Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it. I mean, you can use that cyber guide too if you want to. It's very old. It's very, very old. All right, here we go. Yeah, let's keep this hand. We have the 1-2 punch one more time. I probably can't afford to ending the Aether Vial. Probably can't afford to ending the Aether Vial. Castle Ardenvale. Let's go. Thalia. I wonder why my opponent has these cards in their deck. look pretty bad. I always love how Convergent Sunburst work with Thalias. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, I could block and give pro white. I don't think I'm interested in doing that. Untapping with the Stoneforge is just way too important. That's a giver. That's another giver. Engineered explosives. You want to play the giver battles? I think I'm winning this race, so let's go. I am fairly certain that I'm winning this race, so time to party. Now we're gonna get to Ursa Saga too. Game's looking okay. Okay. What are we doing? Batterskull? Sword? Batterskull. The answer is probably no, but Hornet Queen versus Blue and Murktide for Amulet. Well, I mean, the reason why the answer is no is because that's a good top, good top deck. Yeah, it's pretty good. The reason why the answer is no is because like it's just so rare for you to have access to green. Getting Batterskull here. Gonna put in Batterskull on end step. This is almost a mirror match. Except I have this and they don't. So it's probably not a fair mirror match. Probably not a fair mirror match. Because my deck has like the fairies and Ursa Sagas, and my opponent's deck has Thalias and Leonin Arbiters. So one of us is different. So we have perfect info. We know that my opponent's last card is Batterskull, so I'm just going to attack with both. Because we know that we can protect with Giver. And if my opponent blocks Batterskulls, then what I can do is I can give Pro Black. Yeah, this is fine. So I can give Pro Black to whatever they block, which is going to be the Batterskull, obviously. Then they don't gain life. We don't gain life either, but that's fine because that taps a Giver, and then I can Prismatic Ending. Give this protection from black. So now my opponent's going to give Pro Black. And now we get to Prismatic Ending their Giver, and now we have Giver Superiority. That's what we're going to have. Giver Superiority. Uh, Alternatively, I could resolve the fairy. It's effectively the same. Yeah, it's effectively the same. So I'm just gonna resolve the fairy. Pay 1 for Esper Sentinel. And now we bounce the untapped giver. Oh. Yeah, that's strong. That is strong. Okay. 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 Mm-hmm. They still have access to Vial, so they can play at instant speed, but they can't make a token if they deploy the second giver, which they kind of have to. I think that we got them. It's kind of a neat art. Yep. We're doing the same thing. My opponent's deck and mine, but, you know, ours just has much better cards. See you for the last round. Last round, on the play, turn 1 Reclaimer. I have not kept a hand faster in my entire life. Turn 1 Reclaimer, turn 2 Flagstones. This is what dreams are made of, you know? We're playing against Lurrus. Burn. Sadness. Absolute sadness. So we're gonna go tap to land. And the reason that I'm playing a tap land here is that next turn I can play, I can fetch Gobo. Okay. So now I can use Knight as a blocker. And it's gonna be a 4/4. And I can go Hallowed Fountain here. So that next turn I can just play Saga and cast a Knight. Well, that's hella interesting too. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Saga. And I know this is gonna put me down a land later on. But what this does is this allows you to get Shadow Spear, and then I can staple a Shadow Spear onto this Knight of the Reliquary. And that probably should be enough to win. One's just going face. Jeez. Okay. Do I just have to chump block here? If I chump block, can I win? I block. Next turn, I Stoneforge. I have to block. I just have to chump block here. And now I guess I can make a Saga token. So Prismatic Ending. Yeah. Prismatic Ending. Make Saga token. And then next turn I can suit up Shadow Spear. So we're gonna go down to 4. If they have Boros Charm, I lose. Can't beat Boros Charm. We can beat that one. Shadow Spear really is a hell of a card. Shadow Spear really is a hell of a card. So they can kill my construct. Which they do. Unfortunately for me, my opponent's smart and they're playing Lurrus. So next turn they can go Lurrus into... Oh no, they can't. They can't. So I play Stoneforge. They whiff. Because the only way that I can win this is they whiff, right? So I play I attack here, go up to 7. I play Stoneforge. They whiff. I go find Kaldra. 10. Kaldra means that this is a 4/4. They go down to 1. I lock them out of casting spells. Is that the line? I think so. So we go down to 5. Oh, I can move the Shadow Spear over. So my opponent can't really attack. No, no, no. Oh, man. Well, that happened. I wanted to move the Shadow Spear over here, but I just misclicked. Ugh. Yeah, because my opponent wouldn't have been able to attack there, right? Because I would have had a 2/3 Stoneforge. Then my opponent they can't attack. Then I attack and they can block if they want to, but okay. Didn't get punished, fortunately for me, but that was close. We have like nothing against Burn. We're not particularly well set up against Burn. Flusters, I guess. I don't think Chalices is where we want to be. I would consider them on the play, but definitely not on the draw. I'm probably going to cut some more Harvests on the play to make room for Chalices. Because Chalice on 2 is the number that I'm looking for, and it's a lot more realistic when I'm on the play than on the draw. I guess I keep this. Not a great hand, but like we have a couple of Reclaimers. And we can potentially put something together. Did we win? We did get there. That's a lot of gobos. Land. We're not finding a land. Kaldra complete. Yeah, we're done here. We probably can't win this game. Not without hitting that land drop. Land, please. Giver of Runes. One mana, gain 2 life. That's what this reads. Path better than Caldra versus Burn? No, Caldra allows me to race. Dude, I can never find a land, huh? I mean, as long as my opponent can't either, maybe we're okay. I could have played Stoneforge there. Never ever find a land, huh? Could have played Stoneforge there, but if my opponent does have a bolt or some way to answer it, then it's really bad for us. Speaking of really bad for us. Speaking of really bad for us. Yep. I could have won maybe if my opponent didn't find any more lands, but whenever they hate that land drop, it's just... we are done so. I don't think I've ever not been punished by keeping a greedy hand in my entire life. My entire life, every time I kept a one-lander, I've been punished. Never not punished. Oh, come on, dude. You can't do this to me. This time around, we do have the harvest, so... I'm gonna go for the turn 1 Reclaimer because it has the higher upside. Like, if I find the Flagstones, we're off to the races. But at least we can, you know, harvest. I'm totally gonna harvest into a Saga, dude. I just know it. I just know that I'm just gonna harvest into a Saga and I'm gonna be a very, very sad camper. Okay, oof. If they had a 1-drop, they would have played it there, so I'm assuming they don't have one. Which means that it's better for me to attack so we can, you know, brace or whatever. Kill the Giver instead of the Reclaimer. Very interesting. They just have Searing Blaze. Eidolon. Land. Easy. I think this is the spell that we're gonna play. I can double block the Eidolon here if I want to. Lightning Helix the Giver. Okay, that's fine. We take this. Skewer my dude. That is fine. So now Knight is 4/4. I can go down to 10 and make Knight a 5/5. I think 4/4 will have to do. That makes the Knight a 5/5. If my opponent attacks, do I take it? Path to Exile. Well, that answers the question. So I'm going to do this for x equals 4 so I don't take any damage. We can kill the Lurrus next turn. Also, the fact that we exile the Eidolon means my opponent cannot Lurrus and play it. So they can play Lurrus if they want to, but... So if they have Smash to Smithereens, I lose. What happens otherwise? I play Explosives and I crack it. And I have to do it main phase to play around Boros Charm. Take no damage. Lurrus dies. Opponent has some burn spells in hand. Probably 2 burn spells. Because they're missing land drops and they're not playing creatures. So I think I have to play the Batterskull. It's possible that one of their cards in hand is actually the Smash to Smithereens. But if they do have the Smash, then I can't beat it, period. So I'm just going to do this. I guess they could have another path to exile. If they have another path to exile, they would path my Batterskull and swing for 3, gain 3. Can't beat Smash. There's a Smash. We'll lose the game. Couldn't have in a million years beaten Smash to Smithereens there, I don't think. Well, maybe I could have, actually. No, they had bolts, so I probably couldn't have. Brutal. Anyway, 3 and 2. That wasn't horrible. Okay. Here we are for the wrap up this time for real. How do we feel about the deck? This is just bad, right? This is just not a good card. I was very, very extremely unimpressed by Abundant Harvest. Very unimpressed by it. I'm down to continue trying it out, but like I didn't particularly love it really. I think I would be into playing a Damari's Call. Maybe we can play like 1 copy over this Path to Exile. Path to Exile is probably like a fine sideboard card, but I don't think I want access to the card in game 1. Because Teferi kind of does that, but better. So Path is potentially like a fine sideboard card. We could have access to Ghost Quarter, Bojuka Box, stuff like that. I don't think I want Bog in the main deck, but Ghost Quarter in the main deck is possible. I don't know if I can comfortably accommodate it. So that's the thing. Giver of Runes actually worked out fairly well. Like we did have a couple of times the nut draw, I guess, of turn 1 Giver into turn 2 Stoneforge, which looked pretty good. So I think that the Givers are good. I think that the Stoneforges are good. I like the Reclaimers. Reclaimers did a lot of work in this league that we played. We didn't get to do the retreat thing a single time. And to be fair, again, I don't think that it's very good anyway. Like it's there as a what's the word? Like a last resort kind of thing, like to win out of nowhere. So maybe it works in that context, but we didn't really find ourselves in any sort of situation that would require that. So the retreats looked pretty bad overall. Abundant Harvest looked super medium. Probably interested in cutting these for other stuff. I don't know what that other stuff would be though. Maybe it could be more Illidan's Calls. Maybe we could just not play 4 copies. We can play like 1, 2, or 3, you know? Like it doesn't say anywhere that we're supposed to play 4 copies of Abundant Harvest. So that could allow us to play something else on the 2-drop slot. Because we did find ourselves in a spot where we were doing something on the very first on the very first turn, and then would get answered, and then we would maybe not be able to do anything on turn number 2. So having access to a couple more 2-drops would be interesting. I am not sure which 2-drops I'm interested in playing though. Like, this could be a Thalia deck. This could be probably not a Scavenging Ooze deck. Probably not. I mean, Voice of Regenerations just hasn't been playable in a while. So maybe this could be a Thalia deck. I don't know. It just makes a bunch of our cards so much worse. How you doing, Sergio? So maybe these could be Thalias, like 2 or 3 Thalias. Obviously, I don't want to play Harvest and Thalia in the same deck, right? That's definitely something I'm not interested in at all. Eladamri Skull also becomes a little bit awkward with the Thalia plan. Also, Retreat becomes awkward. And Teferi, yeah, I'm kind of off the Thalia plan. Never mind. Never mind. We're back onto this. Like, the more I look at the deck, it's like, yeah, this just doesn't work. This is not a Thalia deck. Definitely not a Thalia deck. We could have access to more 3-drops, though. Is this the Maverick modern way? Maybe. It could be. Sideboard, maybe cut a Chalice. The Force seemed pretty hard to pitch cast. Eladamri Skull maybe helps a little bit in that sense, but like we don't really have that many green cards to pitch to Force, so that's another thing that's good to keep in mind. I feel like I got a feel of the for the deck, but I didn't really have like, you know, experience in terms of like knowing what matters and what really doesn't. I think that we can cut the Path to Exile like that. That's the easy one. But past that, again, I think I don't want this, and I feel like the final version of this deck will not have Abundant Harvest, but I don't know what this card should be. So I think that for now, I'm going to continue playing the deck with Abundant Harvests, and as I have more experience playing the deck and I understand it a little bit better, maybe I can choose which one would be the card that I would like to replace them with. But it needs to be a 1 or 2 drop. I don't want to replace Abundant Harvest with 3 drops plus, you know? It needs to be a 1 or 2 drop. It cannot be something more expensive. But yeah, this deck is cool. This deck is cool, and it's a good time. It's fun. I'm not sure how good it is just yet. Esper Sentinel in place of Harvest. That's a good suggestion. That's a good suggestion for sure. That's a pretty good suggestion. Yeah, okay. This is a pretty good way to go. At this point, I feel like we're like it's just not gonna be good enough, right? Like Force just can't do it, and Endurance is gonna be a little bit worse. Like we can still hardcast the Endurance, so like that's still fine. But we definitely are not gonna have enough green cards for Force. So at that point, I want something else. Maybe Disenchant, maybe the new card, the Kasali Pride Mage, Cathar Commando. Because this can wear an equipment, and it can also blow up enchantments and artifacts. Seems like that's not going to be good enough against decks like Hammer, though. So maybe we just want to, you know, kind of overdo it with Engineered Explosives to make up for the losses against the Hammer matchup, which I imagine is going to be not great. Solitude is playable there. I mean, we are getting to the point where we have a lot of white cards. The thing is that we don't really have a reliable way of recouping the lost card advantage. So that's kind of the problem. Like, we have enough white cards to pitch to Solitude, but like 2-for-1 ourselves is not something that we can do reliably. So I don't think that we can really go the Solitude route. How you doing, Chief? I don't know. It's interest. It's interesting. That's gonna be it for this league, though. I'm certainly gonna revisit this deck in the future. I had a good time, and I think that there may be something fun here at least. So if you enjoyed it, make sure you let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.